we're pulling the sheets back on the company. We're showing how the sausage is made. How much do we actually make? If Yarbrough & Sons is selling you a $10,000 HVAC system replacement, we are actually making. Today, we are going to answer a question that gets to the core of not only Yarbrough & Sons, but every, I think, HVAC, plumbing, home service company out there. One that I think homeowners probably wish they had the answer to, that they're at minimum curious of, at maximum demanding of. A question that most home service companies maybe aren't comfortable answering, or frankly, maybe they don't know how to answer. Frankly, it's the core of why we do business here at Yarbrough & Sons, how we do business at Yarbrough & Sons, and what keeps the wheels turning here at Yarbrough & Sons. So today, we are going to answer, how much is your HVAC company actually charging you? Let's get to it. We're going to go over the three different kind of categories, the main categories of Yarbrough & Sons. We're going to break it down in percentages. Everything we do is based on percentages. One of my mantras that I say here at the Heat and Air Shop is the numbers change, the margins don't. What does that mean? The numbers may change, but the percentages that we base things off of don't. So whether it's a $10 repair, a $100 repair, or a $10,000 system, these percentages tend to stay the same. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go over a place that you might start your journey with Yarbrough & Sons and what that profit center looks like, how much money it actually makes, what goes into it, and that's HVAC service. So our HVAC service team, we've got a team of about 13 guys running around. All of them have to have trucks, obviously. All of them have to have a communications team working hard and diligently behind them. That's a CSRs, dispatchers, accounts receivable, accounts payable, their manager, our quality assurance manager, all the pieces that go into making an experience with Yarbrough & Sons unlike any other HVAC company. So there's a lot that goes into it. So obviously we have to price for it. And how do we price for it? So we're going to start with HVAC service. So HVAC service, like I said, this half of the page, we're going to go over percentages. This half of the page, we're going to go over dollars. So I'll give real world examples here. First off, on HVAC service, everything that we do, this is not just HVAC service, everything we do is centered around overhead. So you're going to see a common thread across all three of these categories we're touching today, and that is overhead is going to be the first thing we talk about. So overhead makes up 30%. Now, what in the world is overhead? So overhead is taxes, it's insurance, it's a truck, it's new tires, it's oil changes, it's making sure that we have the comms team answering the phone whenever you call so that you're not talking to a robot. Nobody wants to talk to a robot or talk to AI. Whenever you call Yarbrough & Sons, you're talking to one of us. So that's part of overhead. It's also making sure that we have a warehouse that's stocked full of parts, making sure that we have a truck that's stocked full of parts. Everything that goes into making sure that you're safe and secure doing business with Yarbrough & Sons, well, that's overhead. So overhead accounts for about 30% of all HVAC service repairs. Next, we have our parts and material. You can't perform a service without parts and material. So on parts and material, we see that at 25%. This is something that we get a comment about just constantly. Anytime again, transparency is at our core. So you may have seen a lot of our videos where Keith or Steven or another one of our service techs is talking about, hey, this part costs this much, and then Bryce puts a nice little ching money sign, symbol, and how much it actually costs. And we get the comment that says, how are you charging this much for this thing? Well, this is where it goes right here. It's 25%. So say the part, the overall charge to the customer, to you, to the homeowner is $100. Typically that part is going to cost us about $25. One of the things that we tell our team and have empowered our team and our service techs to say and to kind of have a conversation about, have an open dialogue about, is parts and material is about the cheapest part of doing business. There's a lot that goes into it. So we can't just go out and do like a 10 or 15% markup on the part, because we want to make sure that we're still in business for you next year and the year after that and 30 years down the road like we have been. So 25% is parts and materials. Next, we have direct pay. So the labor of the guy. The person out in the field who's doing the work, the service technician, the hero of the home, the hero of the hot summer day, frankly. 25% direct labor. So we have 25% direct labor. So whenever they're going out and fixing that part, doing whatever it is, their input cost is identical to the parts and material cost almost every time. After our direct labor, we have something that is very important to homeowners. The assurance that whenever we fix something, whenever we come out the next time, whether it's 10 days after, 30 days after, 45 days after. We hope not to see you that soon after, but in the case that we do, we keep a 5% warranty kitty. Basically, on every service call, we're putting 5% back. So that whenever it comes time, not if, but when we have a warranty call that we have to go take care of, we're not going to have to sit there and argue over price. A lot of times we're going to be able to just take care of it right then and there and not have to try to nickel and dime. We're going to be able to take care of you, move on down the road, because ultimately we want to create wow experiences, and charging and having a warranty reserve in everything we do allows us to make wow experiences so that you know that you're taken care of whenever you choose Yarbrough & Sons. And of course, last but not least, the thing that everybody is here for, the thing that frankly is the reason for this video: how much do we actually make? We're taking a lot of trust with you guys. Trust in the internet, that's a big deal. But we'd rather operate with transparency, everything above board. How much do we actually make on a service call? Well, we make 15% net profit. That is if everything goes right. If we have something go wrong, if we accidentally step through a ceiling, or if we have a condensate leak, or if we have something go wrong, well, poof, that profit's gone. And something you'll see, and something that's talked about a lot of times, like, well, labor, the company's making so much. Well, here at Yarbrough & Sons, we have a performance influence pay, and this technician who's out in the field, they're going to be making oftentimes more than the company is at large. We make 15% net profit on our HVAC services. So to give you the real world example here, I'm going to be mathing out real fast. So our average ticket in the HVAC service world is about $450. So that is our average repair ticket that we're seeing right now. So if we have a $450 repair ticket, we're going to go based off of these percentages here and kind of break it down and show you guys, okay, here's what the numbers actually look like on potentially your home and your service call. So for overhead, we have $130. That goes to pay the support team, the managers, the warehouse, insurance, taxes, all that fun stuff that really nobody wants to talk about or think about. So overhead, $130. Next, we have our parts and materials, $112.50 for parts and materials. And the same is going to be true, like we said, 25 and 25, direct labor, $112.50. And you're going to think, oh my gosh, you're paying that service tech $112.50 for that service call? Well, here's where the rubber meets the road. Our service tech has 8 hours in a day, in a work day, just like everybody else. So a lot of their time, probably 40% of their time, is going to be spent driving down the road, unproductive, non-billable time. So they're not going to be able to charge that to a customer. So either the company eats it and it comes out of profit, or we work it into our service price so that even when that tech is stocking the truck, or even when that tech is driving down the road, they're getting paid their full rate. So they're not having to worry about where that paycheck is coming from. So that's where that actual wage comes from. So no, it might not be 112 directly on that call, but we're playing a game of averages here. We're playing money ball, if you will. So we're trying to win in the aggregate. We're just looking for those base hits. And so this covers that 40% time where we're going to be driving down the road, stocking the shelves, doing what we need to do to make sure that we're capable of serving your home well the next time we see you. So direct labor. Then we have our warranty. So for our warranty, we got $22.50. That right there is a compounding deal. Again, this is an average. We know that most of the time we're not going to have a warranty issue. We're not going to have a callback issue. So we're going to keep this rolling and keep it in a little kitty. That way, when the time does come that we have to tap into it, we've got money there. And last but not least, most importantly, the net profit of the company. What did the company make on this call? This call, we would have made $67.50 net. Just like we're trying to squeeze in some profit, I'm trying to squeeze it in on the page. I was never good at writing like bubble signs. You start writing like a big happy birthday sign. You're like, oh yeah, I know how big letters should be. And by the time you get there, it's like birthday is all squeezed together and going down the page. That's what we're doing here. So that is how much we make on an HVAC service call. So this is kind of like that entry point. Most people are going to interact with us for an HVAC service or a plumbing service call. And then if it progresses from there, we'll get into a bigger ticket like an HVAC replacement. So this is number 1 done. If you have comments, questions, concerns, thoughts, leave them in the comments below. We'd love to see them. Hey guys, since we have recorded this video, we have some big news. We have been working on a brand new pricing tool for our website. So if you go to yarbroughsons.com and click on the instant estimate button, it will give you an instant estimate in 45 seconds or less. If you speed run it, that's how long it took me. But again, I just clicked through it really fast. But you can get an instant estimate on what it would cost to replace your home's HVAC system or water heaters in less than 45 seconds. Upfront pricing gives you a great range of ideas as far as what to expect when it comes to replacing your home's two most expensive appliances, your HVAC and your water heater. So if you're in our service area, go check it out. All you got to do, name, phone number, zip code, verify that you are indeed human. Link will be down in the doobly-doo. It's ironic that I wrote number 2 on this because plumbing. How much do we make doing plumbing? Again, we're going to do, Bryce and James are going to kill me for making the number 2 joke on plumbing, but I couldn't help it. This side of the page, we're going percentages. This side of the page, I'll show you real dollars. So this is going to be pretty similar to our HVAC service. However, there's a little bit of variance in the total profit as well as warranty side. Obviously, we got to start with the most fun thing that businesses want to talk about, and that is overhead. So 30% overhead. Again, it's making sure that the truck can roll, that we got the right fittings, the right pieces of PEX on the truck, the right liners, everything that goes into the plumbing side of the business, making sure that they are good to go and able to fix the call right then and there, as well as all of the support staff that make sure that the call is booked, that the warranties are registered, make sure that we're taking care of our customers in the best way that we know how. So 30% overhead. Next, again, we got our parts and materials. And our parts and materials, this is where there's a little bit of change. 20% parts and materials. And where that comes to, so there's 25% on the HVAC service side, there's 20% on the plumbing side. Well, that's because the plumbing parts and materials tend to be a little bit cheaper. So we're able to spend a little bit less and move that money around elsewhere because plumbing, we're buying a lot of PVC, we're buying a lot of PEX. There's not as many mechanical pieces that go into plumbing as there does HVAC. So that's where that 5% swing comes from there. However, we make up for it here in just a minute, promise. And you're going to appreciate why we make up for it. I guarantee it. Next, we have the direct labor. Again, 25%. So that is the tech going out there covering all their overtime, matching taxes, their benefits, everything like that. That is their direct pay for that job, and it averages out for their dead time. So that 25% helps cover them for the entire day as they rock along, assuming they have about 40% of the day is dead time. Now, here's where we make up that extra 5% from parts and material, and I promise you're gonna be appreciative of this. If you've ever had to deal with water in your home, sewage in your home, or frankly, water or sewage just where it shouldn't be, you're gonna be appreciative of this. So we have 10% in the warranty reserve kitty to make sure that, hey, if we are, we're going out there, we're touching water, we're touching sewage, obviously I don't wanna deal with it. Our plumbers, a lot of times, they don't wanna deal with it. And you as a homeowner definitely don't want to deal with it. So if we do have to file a warranty, if we do have to have a claim or anything like that, we want to make sure that we're able to take care of you in the best way we can. Part of the way we do that is have that 10% warranty reserve fixed into the overall price of the system, or not system, but the repair, so that if something happens, we're able to take care of you and not have to sit there and argue about who said what the pricing is, and so on. Now, again, the piece of the pie that everybody wants to know. I want to be as truthful, open, and honest as we possibly can be, and that is why on plumbing repairs, and again, you're going to be like, wow, the math is really mathing here, Tuck. We have some big variance. 15% net profit, same as HVAC service. Now, on this 15% net profit, what we do as a company is we're a profit sharing company. So as soon as we hit 6% net, we start taking 10% of all profits and putting it into a profit sharing fund for our team. So the last couple of years, that's led to us paying out somewhere between $120,000 and $150,000 of profit sharing to our team at the end of the year as just an end of year bonus for saying, hey, thanks for helping make this, 1, a great place to work, 2, a great place that customers can trust, and 3, for making this place profitable and able to perpetuate itself in business. So now let's get down to brass tacks. Real world, what does it look like when it comes to the average ticket repair on your home? So right now, our average ticket, our average repair cost, that right there is our average repair cost on the plumbing side, is $600. So we have a $600 average repair, and we're gonna back all of our percentages into it. $180 going into overhead. Next, we have $120 for parts and materials. After that, our direct labor, again, it's that 25%, so it's gonna be a little bit higher than that 120. We have $150 of direct labor. Again, they might not be getting $150 for this exact call. It's covering them for their downtime as well, so that whenever they come to your house, their truck is well stocked. They can use their time wisely and make sure that they have all the parts, or most of the parts, necessary to complete the repair the first time on the first visit, and not have to leave you wondering, where the heck did my plumber go and why can't I get a hold of them? Then after that, we have our warranty. And we have, just that bigger number there. We have that 10%, which leads to a $60 warranty reserve. So that warranty reserve is that kitty. It makes sure that if it comes time, something happens, we're not going to have to ask you for more money. If we made a mistake, we want to be able to own up for it. If we made something wrong, if we did something wrong, we want to be able to take care of it, no questions asked. So basically, it's a small insurance policy for you as the homeowner, and it's a small insurance policy for us as a company to make sure that we're, if we do go out and fix something and do what's right and just take care of it, we're not going to be killing ourselves on the back end and threatening the future of this business. So $60 warranty reserve. Last but not least, the most important question, net profit. So net profit on this job, $90 net profit. So that right there is the breakdown of what it looks like on a plumbing service as well as plumbing install, which we would call basically water heaters, tankless water heaters, and repipes and sewer line replacements, things like that. The percentages pretty well stay the same. There's a couple variants in here of maybe plus or minus 2 or 3%, but ultimately at the end of the day, the goal on everything we do is to have a 15% net, because after we pay taxes and everything like that, that 15 looks a whole lot like 10. So we want to make sure that we're a healthy 15%, and that's what it looks like on this $600 average repair for plumbing. Now, the granddaddy of them all, the piece de la resistance, HVAC install. How much do we actually make replacing your HVAC system? So, number 3, install. So over here, you know the name of the game at this point. If you made it this far, one, you've stayed for the meat and potatoes. All that stuff before, just the appetizer. This is what we came for. This is what we wanted to see. How much do we actually make? How much does an HVAC company, how much does a home service company actually make replacing your HVAC equipment? Because frankly, take a quick scroll through Reddit and boy, you'll think that everybody's making way more money than what they actually are. And if the Redditors out there are making as much money as they say they are on these installs, I guess I'll come work for you. I'll just put in a Jonah Hill meme of I work for you now, because some of the margins that these people talk about on the internet are absurd. So let's get to it. So you know the name of the game, percentages, dollars. We're gonna go over percentages first. Overhead, we gotta talk about overhead, because if we don't pay for overhead, all the wheels of this ship, wheels on this bus, stop turning. Overhead is 30% on every HVAC install right then and there. Then we move down into our equipment, our parts and materials, as well as the equipment. We have a large jump here because HVAC equipment costs a lot more. So we have 40% equip and parts and materials. So our equipment and our parts and materials is 40%. So bang, right out of the gate, we're at 70%. So it starts to get a little lean, and you start to realize, okay, we got to thread this needle pretty fine. Now, whenever it comes to labor, we have 10%. You're gonna say, well, Tucker, why is it 10%? The other guys, the HVAC service guys and the plumbers were at 25. Well, on an HVAC install, they're there all day. So they don't have to have the variance of time. They don't have to have that 40% dead time worked into their price. So they're not restocking a truck. The warehouse team is doing that for them. They're not having to go get parts on the way to the next job. The warehouse team is doing that for them. They're there all day, ripping your old equipment out, putting your new equipment in. So their labor efficiency, how much time they spend on the job that is actually billed to the customer, is basically 100%. So they have 100% efficiency on that job, which allows that direct labor to be a much lower percentage of a total job than HVAC service and plumbing is. So 10% to direct labor for an HVAC install. Next, we need to make sure that whenever you buy a system from us and we don't see it for a while, and you call and you say, hey, something's going on with this, that we're not having to nickel and dime, that we're gonna come out, take care of it. Because when you choose Yarbrough & Sons, you truly choose the family that cares. So that 5% warranty allows us to operate with a lot of generosity and operate with a lot of transparency in what we're doing. So that 5% warranty on an HVAC install, boom, we're in the clear, we're good to go. And again, finally, The final number of the whole pie, the biggest number, the driver of the company's profit, frankly, HVAC install makes up about 60% of our total business. What drives our profitability is this department. So whenever it comes to how much money we make here, frankly, we have to try to protect this profit dollar at all costs, because otherwise nothing else in the company works. So after it's all said and done, we try to have that 15% net. Now you're going to be like, Tucker, I think you're BSing me here. Everything you had was 30% overhead, 15% net profit. There's only so many levers that we can pull in this business world, in the business game. There's only so many levers we can pull. Overhead, there's so many variables that go into it. Changing overhead by any meaningful measure of percentage, it takes a sharp knife and changing the entire business structure and how we do things. And we run a really lean ship. Now, parts and material, yeah, we could change, what percent those make up. Every year we bring in all of our suppliers and we make them give us the best price possible so that we can give you, the homeowner, the best price possible. We're actually in the process of doing it right now, bringing in a couple different manufacturers so that we can get updated pricing and see what is the best way that we can serve our customers, be the most competitive on price, and not have to charge crazy numbers so that we can make our net. So if we can buy better, we can charge less. But, so we can only change that dial just a little bit. And then direct labor. Labor is what it is. For every 5 people in the home services industry, so HVAC, plumbing, electrical, garage door, all that retire, for every 5 that retire, only 1 is there to take their place. So it's a tight and shrinking labor market where the demand is going way up. So the demand is skyrocketing right now, and the supply of available labor, because of the license laws and ability to get in and things like that, is going way down. So the pay is exponentially increasing as we speak. Pay is adjusting in real time. So direct labor, and again, I'm not going to move that warranty. Not a chance am I moving that warranty. We're going to keep that 5% so that we can take care of everybody. So 15% and 30%, 15% for net profit and 30% for overhead. Those two are kind of the pillars that are stuck. We're not really going to be able to move those. So those two things stay in lockstep so that everything else in the business can become a little bit more predictable. So let's get to the real world application. I didn't use our actual average ticket. Our actual average ticket is about $12,000. However, I did $10,000 because I wanted it to be easy on me. So math trumped my ability to actually do math here on camera, because I didn't want to have to constantly be referring to my notes. So right now, and you can, we're selling systems for $10,000 right now. So let's say we're buying a system for $10K. Right now our average ticket, like I said, is floating around 12 and a half, somewhere in there. But you get the picture. But here's the thing, whenever I tell the team this, you can now use this information too. The numbers change, the margins don't. Bryce, say it with me. The numbers change, the margins don't. They don't. So whenever we plug in a new number over here, all of this stays the exact same. So this is backed into this number no matter what. So you can do the math on any given install replacement that we do and see, okay, what are they going to make? What's the numbers look like? So we have a $10,000 HVAC install. So we have 30% overhead. Well, okay, we have $3,000 in overhead coverage. And this makes sure that if we have a leaking condensate line, our insurance is going to cover it. We have taxes covered. We have the warehouse team who's going to make sure that they have all the parts and materials at your house on the time we say it's going to be there, all the support staff. I sound like a broken record, but I can't stress it enough. Our support team is the greatest in the industry. If anyone has any questions about that, I'll argue that till I'm blue in the face. Our support team, our support staff, the network we've built is second to none. We go toe-to-toe with the best in the biz. Our overhead, $3,000 on this job, so that's 30%. So parts and materials and the equipment for your home comes out to $4,000. So we have $4K in just input costs. That's your condenser, your coil, your furnace, or your condenser and air handler, or heat pump and air handler, line set, ductwork, whatever we have to do to make your house more comfortable, that's what this is. So that is Quip and P&M. So equipment and parts and material. It's 4K. Now we jump down to our direct labor. So on this job, direct labor is going to be math, $1,000. So we have $1,000 of direct labor to come out, install, crawl through your attic in the middle of July. I don't know if you've been in an attic in July in Oklahoma, Bless you if you have. If you're a homeowner who's not adept at this, I would suggest spending as little time in your attic as possible in the middle of summer, because your phone will quite literally start giving you heat warnings about 4 minutes in, saying, hey, it's too hot for me to operate. And if Apple is saying it's too hot to operate, homeowner, I suggest you probably shouldn't be crawling around in the attic either. So this $1,000 for direct labor is for those guys who are the superheroes replacing your HVAC equipment. Then we have our warranty, 5% of 10K. Well, we have a $500 warranty reserve there. Again, that's a rolling kitty. We're playing the game of averages. It's Moneyball, base hits. This is just something that we keep rolling along so that we can make sure we take care of customers well. So $500 warranty reserve. Then this is what we all came here for, is the net profit. And it doesn't take a mathematist or a rocket scientist to figure out what the net profit on this job would be. 15%, $1,500 net profit. So that is how much we make on this job. So a $10,000 HVAC replacement, we're gonna make $1,500. But again, you could change this number, knowing what you know now about Yarbrough and Sons, and take this percentage over here and say, okay, well, we're gonna back everything in. They gave me a quote for $15,000, here's how much. They gave me a quote for $8,000, here's how much. And you can back it into whatever pricing that you get from us, and you can do the same for the service and for the plumbing side as well, and see what's the actual brass tacks, what are they making here? Because frankly, we're never gonna be the cheapest company. We're not. We've been in business for 37 years and plan to be here for a ton more. We got a long runway, and we got a lot of things to do, a lot of things to accomplish, and a lot of homes to serve. And in order to do that, in order to achieve that vision, we have to price ourselves accordingly. We have to price ourselves right. And one of the ways that we do that is by taking a transparent approach and empowering our whole team, and now empowering our customers to see, here's what we're making. Because I believe above all, we compete on price, but above all, we compete on trust. And when it comes to who you're inviting into your home, you should be able to trust them not only with your home, but as to why they're charging what they're charging. And frankly, if somebody else isn't willing to share these numbers with you, I would have questions. We share this all day. There's a blog on our website about it. It's been there for the last couple of years. We have a pricing guide on every blog we post that shows how much does this thing cost. Why do we do that? Well, because I believe that if we share and give enough truth and enough transparency, that maybe, just maybe, when it comes time for you to service your home, you'll choose a company that you can trust. Choose a company that you like, know, and have the ability to say, okay, they might not be the cheapest company, but I know why they're charging what they're charging, and they're willing to back what they say they're gonna back. Again, we're not gonna be the most expensive either, so don't get that in your head. We're not gonna be the most expensive. We thread that needle real fine, and we work really hard to make sure that, one, our team is really well taken care of. You don't get to be in business for 37 years and treat people like crap. You have to treat people really well. You have to build a team first. You have to build a mentality that the team matters more than this number here. Mom for years had a sign hanging above the a fireplace at one of the last houses that they had, and it said, when confronted with two options, do the more generous of the two. And that's one of the things that we believe is being generous with our team. And the only way that we can be generous with our team is by knowing our numbers, by knowing why we charge what we charge, by knowing how much we have for profit, how much we have for warranty, and then backing that into our team so that they can communicate this clearly and concisely with anybody who has questions. Because frankly, there's no secret sauce to this. There's no method that is being hidden. This is the actual numbers on any given day that we are charging and trying to make, and where those numbers actually fall on our profit and loss. Guys, I hope you enjoyed our little deep dive in why we charge what we charge. This was a little bit of an uncomfortable video because you're showing how the sausage is made. You're showing the process. And frankly, nobody wants to talk in the business world. Nobody wants to share and talk and pull the blanket back on what they're actually profiting on whatever service or thing that they're doing. So when it comes to choosing your home service company, if you're not in the Oklahoma City metro area, when it comes to choosing your home service company, make sure you're choosing one. They don't have to show you their margins in order to win transparency points from me, but make sure that you're choosing one that is transparent. Make sure that they are capable of communicating thoroughly what they've done, why they've done it, and the motivation behind it. If you're in the Oklahoma City metro area, we're Yarbrough & Sons. We've been in business since 1988, 37 years. We would love to be your home service team for HVAC or plumbing, residential or commercial. We take a lot of pride in what we do, and frankly, take a lot of trust in our team and our community by sharing things like this, things that no one else is willing to share. How much money does Yarbrough & Sons actually make? Well, we've answered that question today. Everything we do, we're trying to make about a 15% net profit. Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, if you found it informative, or at the very least found it mildly entertaining, please like this video, subscribe, and share it with somebody who you think might get some value out of it, because I think we provided a ton of value today. Have a great one. Do something nice for somebody. You never know, it might change their life. Yarbrough.